Something terrible has happened in the watch industry over the last few years. And it's that people like me, maybe people like you, folks that have, let's call it, wrists of unusual size. We've been left out, my friends. The watch industry has moved on, and it's moving smaller. And where does that leave us? Back in the 2000s, it was our heyday. We had tons of watches to choose from because everything was big and bombastic. And to us, that just meant it fit properly. But the watchmaking then, the tastes, the styles, they aren't what they are now. A lot of folks are leaning more vintage. And I love the aesthetic, but I do not love the sizing. It's very rare to find a popular watch that actually looks good on this 8-inch wrist. So if you're with me, I'm at 8 inches or right around 20 centimeters. Leave your wrist size down in the comments because it's not just fat people who are affected by this. We shouldn't use the term fat anymore. Actually, I just heard Nico Leonard not too long ago refer to it as wealth belly, which I really like and I'm probably going to adopt. I've been much thinner than I am now. I'm just a big guy. I'm 6'4", currently 275. A few years ago, when I was 6'4", 215, 220, guess what I was wearing? I was wearing watches. And when I happened to gain all this weight back, you know what I didn't have to do? I didn't have to add links back into any of my watches. I didn't have to adjust my watch sizes. I just have a bigger wrist. And your standard, 38, 39 millimeter watch that you see these days, to my eye, it just looks like a toy when I put it on. And I don't like that. I know that there's some of you out there who feel the same way. So today we're going over my recommendations, my picks for the best watches for wrists of unusual size at every price point. We got a lot of stuff pulled up here, so let's get into it and take a look. Oh, and after each of these price tiers, if I missed your favorite watch and you think it should have been included, stick that down in the comments too. I don't know it all, and I'd like your help to make this as complete as possible. Okay, let's go. Dope, dope, da-deep, dop, do, theme song. The first watch in our under $500 category is a Casio, a G-Shock to be specific. We're looking at the GA2100 series or the CasiOak. It's kind of ubiquitous by now. They have all sorts of different colors and functions. You can get the standard ones that start around $100, $99. You can get ones that are Bluetooth capable for $150, $160. There are all sorts of different colors. Pick your favorite one, grab it, and thank me later. My favorite one happens to be the manga variant, which was limited and not available anymore unless you want to pay the premium on eBay. But I'm a huge fan of this thing. It looks wild and fun on my wrist, and a G-Shock is something that you can afford to be a little more wild and fun with, which I really like about them. But if you also want to get something a little more reserved and just make it your everyday wear, nobody's going to look twice, and it's going to serve you well for a very long time. It's actually going to serve you so well for so long that I put another G-Shock on the list in the under $500 category. This is specifically this one, the GBD 200. It's a G-Shock squared. I know this isn't the classic G-Shock squared, but I really like this one. The MIP display is extremely clear, super legible in all conditions. You can pick these up for much less than retail. I would normally pull up the Casio website for this, but we're looking at Amazon because this was listed as out of stock on the Casio website. I'm not sure how, but there's plenty of them on Amazon. Buy them there. There's an affiliate link down below. Much appreciated if you use the affiliate links. It does help to support the channel and supply us with more watches to review. But this MIP display G-Shock is phenomenal. I have the blue version. I've done a full review on it. I wear it often. It's kind of my beater watch, and it's just never done me wrong. Great display, great wrist presence, and it's not going to hurt your wallet. The next watch that I want to look at in our under $500 category is the Citizen Promaster Dive. Specifically, these versions that are on sale here. These two versions get us in under the $500 price point. And if I was going to pick, I'd go straight to this one with the yellow hits here. And Citizen has this on sale. It's retail $550. They have it on sale for $412.50. And for an automatic day date, everyday diver, I think this is a steal of a deal. This is just going to be a really good watch. We can see here just nice solid case back, good lume, not great lume, but good lume on this. And you're getting a big reputable brand. It's a Japanese made watch. It's going to have one of those Citizen, Miyota movements in there. Automatic. We got the kind of interesting little left hand, what is that, 8 o'clock crown, just something different, something interesting, which is pretty cool. And I think we're 20 millimeter lug width here. So 44 millimeter case, again, big wristers. We need that wrist presence so it looks proportionate, right? So 44 millimeter case, 20 millimeter lug width. So if you don't like the look of that rubber, put literally any other strap that you can find on there because it's going to work. Once you get out of kind of the Promaster Dive automatic, like if you prefer an Eco Drive or something like that, you can pick up one of those no-nonsense Promaster Dive Eco Drives for even cheaper. This one's at $296.25. But once you get into these, oh no, you're still at the 44 millimeter case. I thought these might be smaller case sizes, which is why they didn't show up on my search for the Promaster Dive, but that is not true at all. So same wrist presence. Again, lots of colors to choose from here. So you got the lower cost option in the Eco Drive, which is just fantastic, or you can go automatic and still keep it under that $500 price point. And I almost forgot to mention this one. The last watch in the under $500 category is one of the most recent AliExpress watches that I've picked up, and it's just incredible. And it works for bigger wrists. This is currently on sale for $304. You know how AliExpress works. Sometimes prices are a little bit up, sometimes they're a little bit down. If you can pick this watch up for under, I'd say, under $325, you're doing really, really good. This is the Martin SN0144. And the thing that I like the most about this isn't the exceptional choice of colors that you get, even though the blue, the orange, and the red are all phenomenal. My favorite part is that it comes in 42 millimeter versions of all of those colors. So thank you from the big wristed community, San Martin, for finally giving us a viable budget AliExpress option that ticks all the boxes, because make no bones about it, this does. A lot of people look at $300 for an AliExpress watch is a whole lot of money, but the case and bracelet finishing is second to none on this. The clasp with the on-the-fly adjustment, incredible. 42 millimeters, perfect proportions, great size. It's 21 millimeters between the lugs. You might have to custom order a strap for it. That's what I did. But if you want to keep it on the bracelet, it's a really good one. You're not going to have to take it off. You get a Miyota 9015 movement, so you get that high beat rate, the 4 hertz sweep, nice and smooth, and it's a reliable Japanese movement from a reputable manufacturer. And you toss all of that into a package with an original design and gorgeous colors of lacquer dials. I mean, come on. How can you go wrong with this? Incredible package. AliExpress link in the description. Just pick one up. It's fantastic. What a great watch. Hey, I'm cutting in really quick to say that if you like videos of this style and format, please toss a like on the video and let me know down in the comments below. This is kind of the first time I've done anything like this. And quite honestly, with all the research and ideation that goes into this stuff, it takes a lot longer to put one of these together than a watch review. So if you don't like it, I'm going to stop doing them. If you do like it, let me know. And if you can subscribe to the channel while you're down there, it'd be much appreciated. Doobity doop doop doo. In this range, I want to start with a watch that I own and absolutely love. Still wear it a ton to this day. The Citizen Tsuki-yomi A-T. What you are getting for the price here is incredible. I own this color, but you really can't go wrong with color here. You like the blue, the green, the red, the gray. They got a little bit of something for everybody. And for a sale price of $637.50, you're getting a full titanium case and bracelet. It's a 43 millimeter case, but it's kept very thin by that Eco Drive movement. So it's thin and light from the titanium, which is fantastic. Eco Drive, so it's powered by literally any light source. And AT, which means it is atomic clock connected. So you're getting the radio signal from the atomic clock here. It's automatically going to set daylight savings time, time of day, date, and the moon phase. They calculated the moon phase in here, so it's going to automatically set moon phase for you also. This is one of the coolest watches I own, regardless of price, just because of the price to functionality type of conversation here. It's just absolutely fantastic. You even have kind of a moon dial, dial that's evoking the moon. This is the first ever atomic light powered moon phase watch, where the moon phase is automatically calculated and set by the atomic time radio signal. So that's a little claim to fame from Citizen here, but I just think this is a fantastic package, and it's really, really, really hard to beat at that $500 to $1,000 price point range. Next watch, I want to move into Hamilton. I mean, you can't have a list of affordable watches without tossing in a Hamilton. And my Hamilton of choice for the big wristers like me is the Hamilton Khaki Navy Scuba Automatic. I have this blue version. Again, did a full review video on that one if you want to take a look at it. But they have lots of different colors to choose from. We got the black for more standard stuff, and then there's this kind of fume blue. Down here on the left, we have kind of a fume green, which is beautiful in person, by the way. And then up here, we have a white with blue. Here, we kind of clicked off of it there. So we got the white with blue hits, but this is the one that I went with. That's the one that I have. It's a 43 millimeter case, and this is a substantial watch. I mean, it is solid stainless steel. The bracelet is solid. Like, you feel like you could use this as a weapon, but at the same time, it's just pristine looking. It looks good in almost any situation. The high polished ceramic bezel kind of dresses it up a little bit, and kind of the time onlyness and the Hamilton-ness of this watch really just kind of make it something that you can wear every day. It'll fly under the radar if you want it to. It'll stand out just right if you want it to. And Swiss made, good brand, Swatch Group, great warranty. And you're probably looking at the price here at $1,075 and saying, "Boy, this is supposed to be the $500 to $1,000 price category." And you're right, because you shouldn't buy this from Hamilton. You should buy this on the gray market, because I got this on Joma Shop for just about this price. So we're looking at $686 for a Swiss-made automatic 80-hour power reserve ceramic bezel, just a phenomenal dive watch with gorgeous colored bezels. And it's a 22 millimeter lug width on this. So if you wanted to switch that bracelet out for a NATO or a strap of any kind, no problem finding something. Big fan of this watch. This gets a decent amount of wrist time in my rotation. The last watch in the $500 to $1,000 category I want to recommend to my big wristed boys out there is the Bulova Lunar Pilot. It's the other moon watch. For under $1,000, you can get a watch with provenance, with history. This watch walked on the moon during the Apollo 15 mission on August 2nd, 1971. This watch is fantastic, and Bulova has basically reissued it, but a little bit more of a modern take. They've updated it with their phenomenal precisionist movement, which is, what is it? How many kilohertz? 262 kilohertz is the frequency of this quartz crystal, which basically translates into incredible accuracy. The chronograph timing lets you time, I'm pretty sure, 1/20th of a second on this. So it's pretty darn cool. And you're going to get plenty of wrist presence because the case size on this guy is 45 millimeters, but it still retains the 20 millimeter lug width, making it extremely strapaholic. And this package here comes with a more kind of spacey, NASA issued, inspired type of a NATO strap here, and a spring bar change tool, which is very cool. $795 on the retail price is pretty reasonable for this, if you ask me. Bulova currently has it for $636, but don't buy it through Bulova. Buy it through Amazon. As I edit this, I now realize I was logged into my Amazon account, and it says that this was last purchased on November 29th, which is just a couple days ago as I recorded this. And that also means that this completely spoiled my wife's Christmas present to me. So yay, I'm looking forward to getting this, but don't tell her, okay? This is on Amazon right now for $507. There will be a link in the description if you want to pick that up. Super good price. And if you just want to toss it on your watch list or your wish list or whatever it is to keep an eye on this thing, I have seen the price dip below $500 on Amazon for this, which makes it just an incredible value proposition for the money. So that's what rounds out the $500 to $1,000 big wrister price category for me. The other Moonwatch. More theme music. You know you love it. Here's where we're going to start getting into the real entry-level luxury brands, luxury value brands, Swiss-made stuff, some Japanese-made stuff, and I think you're going to like the third one on this list. It's a bit off the wall, but stick with me. I think you're going to appreciate it because I really do. The first one, though, that I want to start with is this Longines Legend Diver Bronze. I love the bronze with the green dial. It's stunning. Don't worry about this price because, again, it's a Longines, it's Swatch Group. Gray market is your friend, my friends. So this $3,125 watch purchased on the gray market through WatchMax drops down to $2,175. So we are squarely in our $1,000 to $3,000 price point here. But this is just a superb watch. It's a compressor style diver from the manufacturer that invented compressor style divers. It's a bronze and titanium case, beautiful brown leather strap. It comes with an alternative kind of green nylon NATO, and it's just gorgeous. This watch oozes class, and it is on my short list of hopefully watches that I get to pick up come 2025. I would really like to have one of these in the rotation. It's a 42 millimeter case. The lug width, the lug to lug though on this is I think it's like 52 millimeters. It's a big stretch from lug to lug, and a bunch of the tiny wristed reviewers that I saw taking a look at this when it first released said, why can't the lug width just be shorter so somebody with a normal size wrist can wear it? And if you're anything like me, which is why you're watching this video, when you hear that, you think, ooh, it'll probably fit me really well. So, I mean, this is perfect for the larger wristed. And I think it's just a great, classy diver that you can, I mean, if the bronze is clean and it's not too patinaed, you can probably wear this as a dress watch if you really wanted to. It's just a phenomenal look. My next recommendation in the $1,000 to $3,000 price category is from Formex, and this is going to be the Formex Essence 43. One of the best Swiss go anywhere, do anything type of everyday watches that you can get for the money. These are going to range from, I think some of them are in the 1,200 range. All right, but that's sold out, so we won't count it. So we're looking in the 1,400 to 1,800 range, depending on the options that you get. But seriously, just pick your dial color, buy it, and thank me later. absolutely fantastic watch, perfect size for bigger wrists, really cool case design, solid movements, everything's reliable, the dials look fantastic, and if you want something a little less traditional, they have an Essence 43 Ligera, and that is a full carbon case. So we're still under $2,000 here, and you're getting full carbon cases with your choice of many different straps and your choice of dials. If I were going to add one of these to the collection, it would be this one right here with the black carbon dial. So it's carbon case, carbon dial, and these Ligeras are chronometer certified. Are the other ones also? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if the standard ones are chronometer certified. They are. So these are all COSC chronometer certified watches as well. On the steel, I think this, they call it a degrade. I don't know. I'm butchering a word for somebody's language. I really like this dial. It's really good looking. But my pick of the bunch is this carbon case, carbon dial, and I would probably go, I'd probably go on the silicone or the rubber strap. They also have really, really nice deployant buckles on the underside of a lot of these straps. So spec them up. You won't regret it. And the last watch in this 1 to 3,000 category, this is kind of my wild card, right? It's a Seiko, and it's not an automatic one. This is a Seiko Astron. I do not know what the model number is. It's the SSH151. This is a solar-powered, GPS-connected, dual-time chronograph. The case is sitting at 43.3 millimeters on this one. Thickness is 13.4, so we're not too thick by any means. Full titanium case and bracelet. You got that integrated case and bracelet look. It's a ceramic bezel. The time is set by GPS, so you don't have to wait for an atomic clock radio signal to catch. It's GPS connected. You're good to go. We're just under that $3,000 price point. We're at $2,700 here. You might think it's crazy for a watch that's, in essence, quartz, but there is so much modern tech packed into this watch that it's really hard to kind of find words for it all. Just know that you're getting Seiko reliability. The setting of the time is always done for you no matter where you are in the world via GPS. It's full titanium everywhere, powered by light, much like a Citizen Eco Drive, just a little bit different, right? And it's a dual time chronograph that allows you to time things with the accuracy of 1/10 of 1 second. When it comes to a sports watch or a travel watch, I think you're going to be hard-pressed to find something better than this, objectively better than this. Now, if you prefer a mechanical movement in your watch, it's a different conversation. Then we're talking about subjective things. But objectively, if I traveled a lot, I would own this watch because that dual time function is so slick. Keeping that second time at the 6 o'clock sub-dial is something that I would absolutely rely on if I was in the air and traveling across time zones. This is such a cool watch, a phenomenal example of modern watchmaking by Seiko, and just at home on a bigger wrist for just under $3,000. Shooby da beep beep ba dooby doo bay. Okay, at $3,000 to $7,000, we're getting into some bigger brand name territory, and we're going to start with Tudor. I know, home of boring watches, but they're boring and excellent. For a bigger wrist, I just go straight to the Pelagos. The Pelagos is a phenomenal watch with a phenomenal clasp on that bracelet. The spring-loaded clasp is really, really cool. This is the black one. They obviously make the blue. They have the black with the left-hand crown. These are all in the $5,000 range. So we're smack dab in the middle of that $3,000 to $7,000 range here. The Tudor Pelagos, full titanium, by the way. We're talking about titanium construction, ceramic. If you haven't been able to tell, I'm a big fan of titanium watches because bigger wrists typically need bigger watches, but bigger watches are extremely heavy till you make them out of titanium. Then they just feel right at home. So this Pelagos is just a phenomenal choice, 42 millimeter case. And I mean, there would be absolutely nothing wrong with making this kind of a one watch collection. If you want something a little bit more adventurous, but similar, the Pelagos FXD, like this entire line is incredible. We're looking at 42 to 43 millimeter cases, depending on if you're time only or time and date or the chronograph version. My pick of the litter would be the blue chronograph. I just think it's extremely interesting and good looking. All the FXDs are purpose built to be a little more adventurous. So these are going to be out and out sports watches, and they're all going to come on fabric straps. But I really don't think you can go wrong with any Tudor Pelagos. Just stay away from the 39 mil version. Big wristers, trust me on that. Next watch, we're going to be talking about Breitling. And in Breitling, I'm a big fan of this Superocean. The Superocean Automatic 42. They make it in 36. Stay away from the 36. Get yourself into the 42. This is about the same price as the Tudors, right? We're hovering around that $5,000 US price point. These are at $5,200. You can probably search around. Maybe you'll find a discount, but there are so many different colors in the 42. You got the kind of rainbow version up here, which I dig. I would go with the rainbow if it was me. And then we're into black, yellow, blue, white with blue accents. And then we can even get into the 44. So if the 42 isn't big enough for you, spend an extra $50. Get the 44 millimeter case. And then you get into this teal, back into the blue, a really pretty green, this kind of white, off-white, minute track around the colored inner part of the dial is just it's a really cool way to frame it. I like it a lot. And then when you get down here into the 46s, you can really step it up in size if you want to, for again, just another $50. So these are $5,200 to $5,300. Very, very reasonable. And down here, you kind of get the little ear on the left-hand side. Gives you kind of a similar shape to a Nautilus, right? And honestly, I'm not sure what that ear does other than kind of balance out the look of the case. But I assume there's a function for it. There seems to be a function for it. That's why it's ribbed, right? If you know what the function of that ear is, toss it down below in the comments because I would love to know. But these Breitling Superoceans just give you an absolutely fantastic look for the money and plenty of case size options to fill out your larger wrist. Last watch that I want to talk about in this $3,000 to $7,000 price tier from Tag Heuer, the maker of fantastic racing chronographs. So that's what we're going with. This is the Tag Heuer Carrera Chronograph Sport. Not the extreme sport, though those are amazing. They step outside of our price bracket here. I want to focus on these three, the blue, the black, and the green. These are just standard sport chronographs with a date at 6 o'clock, super legible, extremely high build quality. I was lucky enough to be in a Tag boutique recently, and I got to take a look at these and try some on. It's a 44 millimeter case, phenomenal presence on the wrist. It's just going to be a grab and go everyday chronograph if that's what you're looking for. Reputable brand. They stand behind their stuff. It's good warranties. It's reliable movements. You got your 3 registers with a nice date down at 6 o'clock so it doesn't throw off your symmetry. The bracelets are good. You're getting nice exhibition case backs on here so you can see the movement and everything that you've paid for. 100 meters of water resistance. It's just an exceptional package in 3 fantastic colors for $6,600. You compare something like this to a Speedmaster Professional from Omega, or, Heck, we're not even getting into like Rolex Daytona territory, right? Some of the Breitling chronographs that kind of compare in certain ways. This Carrera chronograph presents so much value for money because you're saving a couple of $1,000s from any of those other things I just mentioned. And I don't think you're getting less watch in any way. And in some ways, if you like a date on the dial, then you're actually getting more watch. So this is done really, really well. Don't let these fly under the radar. And because it's Tag Heuer and it's not the Skipper or the Glassbox Carrera, and because it is a 44 millimeter case, which isn't something that is wanted by the masses these days, you might be able to find them on discount too. So that 6,600 might not be 6,600. Keep an eye on this. These are flying low, and they're fantastic watches. That's not a price category. Now I'm confused. Omega is a brand that's close to my heart, and I wanted to give them their own category because they have not left the big wristers in the wake of the new trends. So many companies, especially micro brands, have been creating smaller and smaller watches the past couple of years because that's what the masses want. And I mean, don't get me wrong. If I launched a micro brand, I wouldn't launch it with a 44 millimeter case. You know, it's not 2000 or 2005, whatever it was. Like, I know that I'm going to need to release something that the most possible people will want and will purchase. Omega sized up a bunch of their cases to fit these incredible coaxial movements in them. And they haven't sized down quite as quickly as a bunch of other brands. And they're just serving the big wristed community about as well as any other brand out there. So I'm giving them their own section. And it starts with the brand new Seamaster Diver 300M. This is a newly announced version of the Seamaster 300. This dial, they went back to kind of the smaller wave pattern like we saw on the, Pierce Brosnan era Bond watch, but kept the modern 42 millimeter case size and shape. But they went back to an aluminum bezel from ceramic. So it's, you get a little bit more of those vintage vibes. And then they tossed on the incredible woven steel bracelet, that Milanese bracelet. It says currently unavailable, but go to your Omega boutique, ask around, get on a waiting list if you need to. I'm sure they'll be making a lot of these very, very soon. This is going to be a popular release at $6,500 with no date mucking up the dial. This is one of the coolest divers around. But if it was up to me, I'd go with the No Time to Die version. I love everything about this No Time to Die version of the Seamaster 300. It's titanium, not steel. You get that incredible bracelet still. You lose the display case back, but that's okay. You get this beautiful, a lot of people call it faux tina on the loom. Like, let's be real here. This is not faking patina. This is having fun with color. Just because you use a tannish, brownish, orangish color in the loom doesn't mean you're trying to fake patina. Sometimes that's just a color that looks phenomenal and interesting. And on this watch, it absolutely does. That dial looks black on the computer screen, but there's actually a bit of a brown tinge to it. It's a little bit more of a taupe in person. And this watch is just incredible. If I was going to add an Omega diver to my watch box, this is the one that I would add. But on the short list, there is also the Seamaster Planet Ocean. Now, I know a lot of people say that the Planet Ocean is due for a refresh, and that might be true, but that doesn't mean that this GMT version isn't incredible. It's 600 meters water resistant like most Planet Oceans are, but something about the stark black and white playing with each other in this watch, for me, is, it ticks all the boxes. Really big fan of this Planet Ocean. I really like the arrow handsets on these. And with a 43.5 millimeter case and a high quality stainless steel bracelet, this is going to be bulletproof for a long time to come and plenty of presence for a larger wrist. Omega's next selection, I'm going to toss in the Planet Ocean Ultra Deep, specifically this Ultra Deep from the Summer Blue collection, I think they called it. 45.5 millimeters, big watch. It is 6,000 meters water resistant. You're going to be able to do anything in this watch. Literally go anywhere to the bottom of the ocean. Not a problem for this thing because it has been down to the Mariana Trench and came back alive. So I think we're going to be just fine. But I really like the deep blue of the dial and kind of the blue accents in the Arabics and the hour markers and even around the bezel. And all that is loomed. And yes, because it's the Ultra Deep, that is the Mariana Trench on the dial. And yes, Omega was here. So that's a nice little hidden Easter egg that pops out in the loom when you do get into some low light situations. This is just a really, really cool watch. I'm a big fan of that one. Next Omega I want to mention is the Aqua Terra, specifically the Aqua Terra World Time. Not all Aqua Terras come in that 43 millimeter case size. Most Aqua Terras are in the 41 millimeter case size or the smaller sizes. This World Time presents some of the best value for money on the watch market, period. Phenomenal World Time complication, coaxial, chronometer, Aqua Terra, kind of a another one of those go anywhere, do anything type of watches. Phenomenal case profiles. You get the Omega build quality. You get Swatch Group standing behind all of that work. It's a beautiful bracelet. And the little globe, the laser bladed globe that's on the dial, and colored and painted. It's a beautiful package. If you're looking for a World Time watch for a bigger wrist, Omega's got you covered. This is, in a word, superb. It's really, really difficult to find better than this Aqua Terra World Time. 2 more Omegas on the list. I know Omega sections are running a bit long, but this is how well they are serving the big wristed brethren. Speedmaster Racing, not the Speedmaster Professional, the Speedmaster Racing. Omega makes a lot of these 44.25 millimeter case Speedmasters, and the Speedmaster Racing, another one that kind of flies under the radar. Pick your poison, because all these colors are good. We got black with orange hits. We got black with no orange hits. We got a silver dial. We got a black with some gold accents over here. I guess that's kind of a dark gray. We got blue with a full gold case if you really want to go that way. If it was up to me, I'm going panda dial with orange hits. This is a cool looking watch. If you're looking for a great chronograph, dual register, you got your date at 6 o'clock. This panda dial Speedmaster Racing with a 44.25 millimeter case. Phenomenal. Again, perfect wrist present. It's perfect on my 8-inch wrist. This case is absolutely perfect on me, and I wouldn't change a single thing. Same case, different materials, Dark Side of the Moon series. All sides of the moon. You got your Dark Side of the Moon Apollo 8. You got your standard Dark Side of the Moon. You got Dark Side of the Moon with gold accents. You got other dark sides of the moon. You have the extremely dark side of the moon, also known as the what time is it? Because I don't know how anybody tells time on that watch. Down here, you got the dark side of the tan moon. You got the gray side of the meteor moon. You got the white side. And, of course, my favorite, my grail that I was able to attain this year, the good old gray side of the moon. It's a perfect watch. If you want to hear me wax poetic about this watch, go watch my full review on it. I will spare you that now. Wow, 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 pow. That's a lot of money. And finally, let's get into some bigger budget watches, starting with the IWC Big Pilot. These are my non-Omega picks for bigger budgets, and this is where we're starting. We have a 46.2 millimeter case. John Mayer on Hodinkie's Talking Watches famously said that he loves traveling with it because it's kind of like you're taking off the watch, setting it on the dresser or the bedside table, and it's like you have a little clock there waiting for you. Big watch, big wrist friendly, can't get any more legible. What is it? 7 or 8 day power reserve? I think it's a 7 day. It says 7 days, but it winds past 7 days. Let's say it's a 7 or 8 day power reserve. It's plenty of power. You're not going to need any more. It has a date at 6 o'clock. So if you want the date complication, that's there for you. Power reserve indicator at 3 o'clock. It's simple. It's big. It has a huge, beautiful, easy to operate onion crown. There's heritage. It's a pilot's watch you can't go wrong with a Big Pilot, can you? And they make it in some other colors. There's a blue and there's all sorts of other stuff. Here, we can take a look at some other colors. We got a blue, and then we got this whole thing loading. We got a nice green. If you want the most legible watch you can find and you need something that's going to fill out a big wrist, IWC Big Pilot. The conversation kind of starts and ends there. Next, because I got to stick a Rolex on here, don't I? The Explorer II. I like the modern Explorer II. The 42 millimeter case, the polar dial specifically. I really, really like this watch. I'm not a big Rolex guy. I've been on record of saying that I have no want or desire to own a Rolex. And while that may be true, if one day I could see myself owning a Rolex, this is the Rolex. The Polar Dial Explorer II at 42 millimeters. And I'd probably get an orange rubber B strap to put on that. But, orange strap guy. That's just how I roll. Next is from Bulgari, specifically the Octo Finissimo range. I was lucky enough to be in a Bulgari boutique not too long ago, and I tried on this guy, the Octo Finissimo Skeleton. It is an 8-day power reserve masterclass in watchmaking. This is not a small watch. This feels more like a cuff when you put it on, or a bracelet. It's all titanium. It's incredibly thin. It looks and feels fantastic. It basically disappears when you put it on your wrist. It's just an incredible watch. The Octo Finissimo Skeleton, and the skeletonization on this from both front and back is absolutely jaw-dropping. You've not seen many other more interesting gray watches than this one. Maybe I'm a bit of a gray watch guy because that gray side of the moon has my heart, and this does also. This just happens to be, a skosh over $27,000, so it's a bit out of my budget at the moment, or else I might be justifying this thing. But look at that. That really is kind of how it looks in person. It looks even thinner. It feels like you could almost break it like a potato chip, but it's all high-grade titanium and it's super strong. Here's the look from the back. The skeletonization on this thing is unbelievable, and it's a manual wind. So you get to interact with it. You get to have that relationship with your watch. Yes, it's time only. Yes, it's a lot of things, but man, that's gorgeous. It's just gorgeous. Bigger wrist, bigger budget, looking for some real watchmaking prowess, head over to Bulgari and pick yourself up one of these, because there's not a whole lot of people doing it better. And this is not quite as ostentatious and out there as a lot of the luxury brands can get. So if you don't want to garner too much attention, then this is going to fit the bill too. And there we have it, my big-wristed brothers and sisters. What do you think? That's my list. Those are all my picks for watches on wrists of unusual size. By now, I'm sure you have some things noodling around in your brain that I missed and I left off the list. So don't forget to leave those in the comments below. I'm looking forward to the discussion down there. Like and subscribe if you're still here. This has been a long video. If you're still around, you should subscribe because you obviously don't hate me. And we'd really appreciate that subscription. It helps the channel grow. And please, again, I really want that feedback from you. If you want more content like this, lists, recommendations, research, just perspective on different things, let me know so I can provide more of it. The only way that I can give you more of what you want to hear is if you let me know what you want to hear. We're all human. Let's get down those comments and human together. Talk to you next time.